guys, how you going? So today on BKRsport, we're back for another one of these rugby league player. Well, I don't even know why I said rugby league. We're doing positional players for all different sports right now. But today, guys, we've got the NRL wingers. So this is going to be a very exciting one. It's a very diverse group, wingers, because you can honestly get some really not great players. You can also get some absolutely phenomenal ones, and also a lot of unprovens too, because wingers are usually quite young. So not all the time are they going to have enough experience there to show that they deserve a spot in a couple of these tiers that we've got on here. But guys, obviously, we do these not just by myself. We have other creators too. And today we have Rugby League in My Opinion. How you doing, champion?
I am great. I'm really excited for this because I've watched plenty of tier lists on YouTube and stuff like that, but I've never actually been a part of one myself. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we may disagree, but in the same sense, it's always usually around the same area. Like you kind of in between, like quality will do the job and something like that. But yeah, the only thing is, guys, just to point out, you guys will have a different opinion to us. So I understand that you may disagree. You may like a Tigers fan, and we may not rate the Tigers players too much. Point of the matter is that this is all opinion based. We're just another couple of blokes having a chat and talking about rugby league, and hopefully you are enjoying. But yeah, so obviously in the chat below, let us know your thoughts and opinions, and if you think, buddy, we're idiots, or you think that we did a good job, let us know. Definitely hit the thumbs up button, and let's get started here. So first up, man, we've got buddy Alex Johnston. I'll give you the first little crack here. Where are you putting Alex Johnston on the list?
For top try scorer in 2020. Of course, I think he got, 5 of those tries in the
last game.
There. So, but how much do you take that into account? Because, it's like consistent try scoring, which he was relatively, but to get 5 tries in the last round, to get you over that line, it shows he's a class
winger.
They
really pushed it too. They really pushed it in that game to get him those tries.
Oh, by the end there, what was it? Cody Walker was looking around.
One of them just gave it to him over the line.
It was Corey Allen, and Allen he was on a bit of a scoring streak. I think Corey Allen had scored in a few games in a row, and then he was like, "Oh no, I'll give it to AJ so we can get over the line." But look here, it's hard for me between elite and quality, because the thing is, in the NRL with wingers, they fluctuate a lot. I'd say probably more than any other position.
That's why this is the most exciting one, I think. I think this is the most exciting tier list, to be honest with you.
100%.
I'd put him in quality. The reason I'll say this is because yes, he's a phenomenal player, but I wouldn't put him alongside the guys that I know I'm going to be putting in the elite tier. I think that obviously he knows how to find the try line. I don't necessarily think he's the most well-rounded winger compared to a lot of these other guys. But I definitely think that he's better than do the job. And I think that he's higher end quality. I think that we definitely put him above a lot of the mid-table and lower end, but we'll chuck him in quality. I think
100%.
But let's move on to the next one. We're both Titans fans here, man. We've got Donny. Feed the Don, feed the Don, feed the Don, and he will score. For me, man, look, I think that I'd put him in do the job. I think that his defense is horrific, absolutely horrific. But I think that he definitely does what you want from a winger without being exceptional. And I think that he should be better than not that great, but I can understand why people would put him in not that great.
Well, for me, he's elite, but
I love it, yeah.
he is do the job, right? And I don't think people could say he's
the epitome of do the job.
He's the epitome of do the job. You can't put him in not that great because, at the Titans, leading try scorer of all time, and I know they're still a young club, but he's notched up a fair few tries in his time. At his peak, he was probably underrated, and he probably wasn't too far off an Origin selection at his peak, but I feel like just the way he was playing, not necessarily what the selectors were going to do there. He's just, and again, we're going to look at a few of them here, a stacked class of wingers, and I think, do the job.
So next up, we've got Bailey Simmondson. Where are you thinking of throwing him?
Oh,
it's a tough one.
It's a tough one because he has, since coming in 2019, he's had some raps coming from rugby union originally. Look,
I think Unproven.
I think, you know what? Unproven's probably the best place for him. I was sort of thinking do the job because he is an okay winger when we've seen him, but this is going to be his first year starting. Definitely, Unproven. Yeah. We're agreeing with them all so far.
Yeah, exactly right. I just don't think we've seen enough of him to be able to give him a solid ranking yet. Obviously, next year, come back and do it again and see where we put him. But in the same sense, I think there's a lot more to be seen before we can get a good read on what he would be as a player. Next up, I believe this is Blake Ferguson of Parramatta. Now, this is a difficult one. You know, he definitely has the quality to be elite, but I wouldn't put him in elite. No. He also has the ability to be and do the job, but I wouldn't put him in do the job. I would put him low end of quality.
I think I would as well, because you can't put him any lower than quality because of what he's done throughout his career. However, especially in 2020, look, I know Wanga Blake wasn't getting the ball out to him that much, but there was a significant sort of decline you could see. Like when Ferguson did have chances, he just didn't take advantage of them. And I just don't think we could put him in elite right now, considering it took him so many games to score his first try of the season when you're a winger. Yes, his chances were reduced, but when you're a winger, sometimes you got to find those chances. And sometimes when you do have those minimal chances, they've got to come off at some point. So I agree, probably low end of quality here. But you can't deny what the man's done.
Bingo. Next up, we got Brett Morris. Now, I think that for me, this is going to be the first person that I put in elite. I
100%.
think that you can't. I think you can't put him anywhere else. I think that he is just incredible for the Roosters. He's been incredible his whole career, and I think at every single moment throughout his career, he would be classed as elite, no matter what era, no matter what time. Obviously, this is about now. This is about what we're thinking going into 2021. But I think in general, anyway, he would always be an elite.
There's not many defensive wingers in rugby league, and he's the best of them. Like, he's a good defender. Yep. At least he has been throughout his career, and you can't say that about many wingers at all.
Exactly right. Wingers aren't known for their defense, but he definitely has a good defense, and his attack is just lethal, man. So it doesn't matter where he is, he'll always get the job done. Next up, we got the Panthers. We got Brian To'o. Brian To'o, where are you putting To'o?
I'd have him in quality. I wouldn't put him right up the top of quality. He did go through a bit of an injury spell last year, but he's been consistent. I really like how he comes in for runs as well. Obviously, many wingers do it these days, but especially someone who's sort of shorter in stature to be able to come in and have a hit up, and he's pretty effective when he does so. I think he's definitely quality.
I would agree. I'd put him low-end quality. I'd put him, compared to a lot of these other players, I'd put him low-end quality, but I would put him in the quality area. I think he's still got a lot to show. I think a lot of people would probably put him in the do-the-job area, as in high-end, most people. But I'm pretty happy to go and put him in quality.
He has only played 2 years as well, so I think he's only going to go up. But I think the impact that he's had at Penrith so far, like, he's yet to really have a poor game. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he has a lot to show, and he looks the goods going forward. So I think that I'm happy to put him in quality, but I wouldn't put him above someone who's experienced and proven, like a Blake Ferguson, that yes can be lower but also can be higher.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
There you go. So next up we got I think this is Charlie Staines, isn't it? It is Charlie Staines. Yeah. This is a difficult one. I'd probably put him in unproven.
100%. He's scored 6 tries in 2 games, but he's still only played 2 games. All the hype around him, even before he debuted, I mean, he's hyped up to be a bit of a star of the future, but the injury concerns already. That's what gets me. So I think unproven 100%.
Bingo. And I think the next one, Cody Ramsey, I think will probably go in the same area.
Yeah, 100%. Similar to Charlie Staines, a great start to his career, but just not played enough.
Next up, we've got I'm going to let you speak here first, but I know where I'm putting him. Corey Oates. Corey Oates of the Broncos. I think that things in recent years have changed for him.
They definitely have. When he was at his best, he was there with probably the best wingers at the time.
It was strong. It was strong. Definitive, and he was really quality.
Yeah, and this is when he was sort of still looking to make that move to second row. I know he sort of made it now, but it's not because, he's too good for playing on the wing. It's just because Brisbane have been chopping and changing their side because they haven't been playing that well. The injury sustained this season as well was nasty, and it'll be interesting to see how he has a full season in 2021 carrying that now. I hate...
I'm putting him not that great, man.
See, I was going to say do the job, but I'm happy to concede here. It's just... And he's a guy who always had so much potential. Like, even at the start of 2019, when Brisbane had that poor start to the season, he was still scoring pretty much every game. I think most of their tries were coming through him, and he was looking all right to start 2019 then.
I think the reason why I would take him and not that great is because if you gave me Don and Corey Oates, I would take Don simply because I think he does better off the ball stuff, except for coming off his wing. If he didn't come off his wing defensively, I think he would be, well, he'd still do the job, but I think that I would take Don over Corey Oates right now. If you talked to me 5-6 years ago, I'd probably take Corey Oates. And he would definitely be above him. But right now, I don't think Corey Oates is on par with Anthony Don for me. A lot of Broncos fans will come out and say we're biased Titans fans, but I just don't see it. I just personally don't see it. So are you happy with not that great?
After that argument, I genuinely would not put him above Don, so I'm going to have to agree there.
There you go. So next up, we've got Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. Where are you throwing him?
As a winger,
this is the predicted lineups that I looked at from Clarkey, from people putting out their predicted lineups. Because that's obviously not what I usually do.
No, I think that's his best position. I'm just thinking as a winger, because as a fullback, I don't think he was that great consistently. As a centre, they sort of just chucked him there. This is his best position, which is interesting because he obviously hasn't played there consistently since going to the Bulldogs. When he was playing on the wing towards the end of his tenure at Penrith, he just was not playing good at all. And that could be to do with off-field stuff, whatever. I'm between quality and do the job. It's either going to be low-end quality or top-end of do the job, because
I'd probably put do the job. I do the job. I don't think you put him there alongside Blake Ferguson and Alex Johnston is what my argument would be there.
True. If I was to put him in quality, though, I think it's towards the end. We'll probably be even behind Toto at the moment. Yeah.
I think we'll see it from the Bulldogs this year. I think they're a bit overhyped, like I keep saying, but in the same sense, this will be, where we see the man from the boys again. Like I said, the Dogs are definitely improving, and this will be the time for him to show us that he's better than do the job and in quality. The next up, we've got, I think this is Daniel Tupou, isn't it? It is Daniel Tupou. Where would you throw him, man?
He's either the top of quality or he's in elite behind Brett Morris for me.
I'm going to put him in elite for me.
Yep, I'm happy for that.
I think that whenever you think of a quality winger in this league, like a top tier winger, you think of both Morris and Daniel Tupou. I think both wingers there are just incredible. Did I say Brett or did I say Chot? No, I said Brett. Yeah. He
was good in Origin as well. For a New South Wales side that, for the most part, especially in Game 1 and Game 3, weren't amazing. I thought in Game 2, he was great. Game 1, when they went to him in Games 1 and 3, which they didn't do a whole lot, he was pretty good for New South Wales, I'd say anyway.
Alrighty, well, next up, we've got David Fusitua. This, I think for me, I think he's low-end quality.
I think so too. And this is a bit of a spoiler, but you look at a bloke like Ken Maumalo as well. They're sort of in the same mould, both Warriors wingers, where I think 2019, it was Fusitua. Oh, no.
You have to look back past last year because obviously last year wasn't a good read.
And I think 2018 and 2019, it was Fusitua who got top try scorer and then Maumalo. But in other seasons, they haven't scored as much. They both had. So we know that they can score. And to me, if you're a winger and you can get top try scorer in a season, you're probably quality.
I think if they had a better, more consistent 5'8", I think that they'd probably get a lot more tries. I think if they had better halves in general, I think they'd find a lot more tries there, even though they're already getting heaps of tries as it is. So I think that considering they're doing as well as they're doing at the Warriors, I think they have to be quality. And I think that if they went, I don't know if they suit everyone else, but I just think that if they get better halves, they will be. I honestly think one of them at least could be elite. Next up, I think this is going to be very difficult. I think this one's going to be very difficult here. David Nofoaluma. I'm going to leave this one with you for the time being. David Nofoaluma. I know that this is either between elite and quality at this point.
I'm going to say quality because he had an amazing year in 2020. One of the breakout players of the season, just comparative to where he was at, especially in people's minds. He's made a name for himself well and truly. He is one of the better wingers in the game. Everyone acknowledges it now. He's not like someone who's a bit underrated or someone who people aren't really mentioning. So he is quality, but to be elite, you got to do it for years and years and years. So
exactly right.
He does that.
You have to be much more proven than just a year or two in between. So, and I think that this year for the Tigers, it's difficult with the Tigers too because they're a difficult team to read. I definitely would have him in quality and not elite. But if he had better distribution from his outside, from his centres, and I think if he was in a bit of a better team set up, I think he would be an elite. Next up, we've got Edrick Lee. I think Edrick Lee is do the job, low end.
Low end of do the job. See, I'm do the job, but I'm not sure if he's low end. So we agree already, but he's got talent, right? But drops
the ball a lot.
Drops the ball a lot, but he is a talent. So I think you can't go higher than do the job is what I'm saying. I just want to recognise that he is a talent, and when he's on, he is very hard to stop.
Put him above Donny. I'd actually put him above Donny and Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, but I think to be fair to him, I think we put him in between.
Yeah.
Next up, this is Hamiso, I think. Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. Sorry if I butchered your name, bro, but I'm giving it my best. So I think he's a bit unproven, man.
I'd have to say so too. Seen promising things. Even at fullback, he wasn't great.
Everyone's talking about him, bro. Everyone's talking about him. Let's move on to the next one. And this one is Hymel Hunt. Hymel Hunt. Do the job?
Do the job, I'd have to say. He usually plays centre, doesn't he? Obviously, he's been listed as a winger here. So I'd have to say do the job just as a player. I think in 2020, though, he had a decent season. Like, it was a... You know what I mean?
He's like the Knights, though. He's like the Knights as a team. You know, he has a good game and then has a horrific game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why Newcastle is so... I have to 100% agree with that there. They have players whose best is right up here and players whose worst is down here, and they're just up and down.
I think next one, Jason Saab. I think he goes in the line with Hamiso and Cody Ramsey and stuff like that. Would you agree?
100%. Yeah.
I don't think we need to talk too much about that. He's got great raps about him. Looking forward to seeing more from him. But there's definitely no way you could put him into a T list in regards to, other little areas. All right, so next up we've got Jordan Rapana. Jordan Rapana, where are you throwing him? Difficult, I know.
I think because, again, what he's done throughout his career, I'm going to say quality. But I don't think his 2020 was that great. Unfortunately, this could be where we sort of start to see that decline. It's not a sort of a rapid decline, but he's just not going to be as good as he used to.
I would, from this list right here, it might be a little bit different to what you've got, but I would personally put him above
I would put him
below Nofoaluma. Could even, if you argue with me to say above Nofoaluma, I probably wouldn't even go there. And I could even see it above Fusitua, but in the same sense, I wouldn't be putting him anywhere near above Ferguson or Johnston.
I think just behind Nofoaluma. I think right behind Nofoaluma.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So we'll leave it there. Next up, I think this one's pretty obvious here. Josh Addo-Carr. I think you've got to chuck him in elite, man. There's no, you cannot argue that. You just can't. You just cannot. And that's a great signing there, doggies, for 2022. Remember that, doggies. You don't have him this year. A lot of Dogs fans think they have him this year. You don't have him this year.
Yeah, and Matt Burton.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Every Dogs fan's like, we're making the 8 in 2021. It's like, this is why I keep telling you. 2022 is a year that you could actually make it. But our predictions video will come out about a week before the NRL comes out. So, mind you.
Do we put him above BMOS?
I'd put him above... I think BMOS is number one. I think Morris number one. I think Addo-Carr's number two. Yeah, in between the two. Yeah, there's no way that Tupou goes above Addo-Carr for me. So next up, we've got Josh Mansour. Where did he go? He went to the Tigers? Yeah?
Rabbitohs.
Rabbitohs. Yeah, Rabbitohs. That's going to be... He's in a good position for himself, but I'm not too sure he might suit that situation there with the way he plays, but it's going to be interesting.
I don't think so. Now, Josh Mansour is someone who on
Tony Staggs.
Yeah, for one. But on podcasts I've been on in the past, and it's gotten a mixed reaction. I'm someone who's probably a little harsh on Josh Mansour. He is someone who, since coming back from multiple serious injuries, has not been the same. I forget whether he did something to his knee. I'm thinking
I know we're going to agree. I've already put him where I know we're going to agree.
Well, hopefully we do, because he just never jumps for high balls anymore. I feel like people still sort of overrate him in a sense. And a lot of Penrith supporters are like, how could we get rid of him? Wanted to be one club player. I think it was time to move on. I think, he's 2020 was the best season he had since that leg injury. I can't for the life of me remember exactly where, but he just doesn't jump for high balls. He's become, unfortunately, somewhat of a turnstile on goal line defence. He still gives it his all in attack, but he's just someone, for a winger, being able to jump for high balls near your line, that's as important as anything a winger's going to do, because you've got to contest that high ball. He just never does. And he got his facial fracture from our man, Anthony Don, a couple of years ago against the Titans, because he literally didn't jump for a high ball and he got a knee to the face. And now he's in danger. If he gets hit too hard in his face, he goes blind in whatever eye the fracture happened on, he said.
You've absolutely gone in on him, man. You've absolutely...
I know. No, I want to say this. Because he still provided something for Penrith in 2020, right? But he's just nowhere near that same player. I feel like people are still sort of caught up on 2014 Josh Mansour and saying he's... I feel like there genuinely would be people who would have him like high end of quality.
I've got him... Well, actually, no. Where do you have him? Where do you have him?
I would have him low do the job or high not that great. It's just...
Oh, okay. So we're not on wavelength, but we're close, though.
It's just because of injuries, right? I'm happy to concede if we're close, but it's because of those injuries. It's just he's not the player he once was, and he's like... I feel like he's just a bit overrated.
We'll put him bang right in the middle of do the job. I had him top end of do the job, but I can understand. Okay. I think that we can put him right in the middle of Edrick Lee and Hymel Hunt. All right, let's jump into Ken Maumalo. I think that we've already mentioned this, that he's basically alongside his winger partner in Fusitua.
Yep. And you know what? If we put him in front or behind, I feel like they're pretty much the same.
The next one here is quite difficult for me because he scores tries, but there's also, and he's obviously got one of the greatest tries of all time against the Broncos in the grand final. But it confuses me. Kyle Feldt. Where are you thinking?
Well, I actually had a bold prediction coming into this year, and this is because of the Cowboys, how they're looking. I think many of their points will come through either Kyle Feldt or
how many points? I can't see them getting many points.
Or a Valentine Holmes. So I have Holmes and Feldt combining for 30 plus this season.
30 plus tries?
Yeah, together.
You think the Cowboys are going to be good this year?
No, I think that they're going to be so bad that they're really going to be their only two try-scoring options.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
That's where that's coming from.
Okay.
And I feel like they will get tries, but the thing is, I'm probably more leaning towards, and this is if Holmes plays on the wing alongside Feldt, of course, and I feel like I'm leaning probably most of those tries will come through Holmes, but Feldt will have to score a few as well. I think he's quality, but I don't think he's...
I think he's low-end quality. I would probably put Kyle Feldt above Tupou. I'd put Tupou as quality, but the lowest. I'd put Kyle Feldt second lowest. But I'd even put him above I'd put him above the Warriors boys because he scores a lot of tries and he does the job there while at the Cowboys and is their only attacking really threat and gets it done when he needs to get it done. And I think he's better than do the job. So I'd probably put him above the Warriors boys.
And you know what? Just for sort of that longevity so far in his career, and that consistency as well. He always at least gets a few tries. So yeah, definitely.
Next up, we've got Maika Sivo. This is a tough one for me because he is a bombing winger. And obviously, Tosso Viti, baby. I love my Fijian boys. Obviously, massive connection with Fiji. My family's all over there in Rotuma and Fiji. But, man, Maika Sivo is a tough one, bro. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, he had an amazing...
He's definitely quality. He's definitely
quality. But it's definitely quality. It's just wearing quality. Because the amazing 2019, a lot of people say he had a crap 2020. He had a crap end to 2020. I think his first half was still relatively consistent. And then he sort of dropped off from there. I don't know. It seems like ever since he put that hit on James Tedesco, he sort of... And it's not even... I think he just went on a little bit of a try-scoring drought, and his output was a bit less.
Straight up, man, I'm going to put... I honestly think he is high quality below Johnston. I got him above Ferguson. Ferguson's too inconsistent for me. Nofoaluma has worries with his game. You've got Rapana, who we definitely have confusion about. He's definitely better than Kyle Feldt, Rapana, and Nofoaluma for me. I think the only question here is if he's better or worse than Ferguson, to be honest with you. I think he's better than everyone else in that quality area. Yeah. If you put a draft right now, if someone told you right now, they said you have to draft a winger and you've got this selection of players, you take Johnston first, surely. I can honestly see me picking Maika Sivo. I would pick Maika Sivo over Johnston.
Well, I'm happy to concede because we're very close here. My thing was my head went straight to behind Nofoaluma, but I'm happy to go a couple in front.
I think Maika Sivo is way too big and strong to be below Nofoaluma for me. I think he is just so dominant with his size and the way Fijians are built in general. The way Fijians are built is just so, through their quads. I'm putting him above Johnston. That might be my big call of the video. I'm putting him above Johnston.
Well, you know what? I'll be fair. I'll give you the big call because at the end of 2019, he was definitely there. As I said, he didn't have a crap 2020, maybe just a crap end to 2020. So that's 70% of his career thus far. He's been right up there. I'm happy to concede that one in the end.
All right. Well, we're close enough. We're close enough. So obviously the chat in the comment section, guys, let us know. But next up, we got another Fijian, Mikaele Ravalawa. I think this one's a little bit easier to understand.
He impressed me towards the end of 2020. For some reason, he stopped being picked in the side. There wasn't any word as to whether he'd been dropped or whether he was injured.
Drops the ball a lot.
He does, but it was weird. It was like they dropped him from the side at the wrong time because him and Pereira were good. It was that little patch of form the Dragons had in the middle of the year, when Mary was on his way out. They beat the Eels. I think they had a couple of good wins the weeks before, and the wingers really had a good output. With that being said, he's not been that sort of he sort of come good towards the end of his 2020, but before that, so I don't think we could put him that high. Maybe
I would honestly put him
do the job or not that great.
I've got him number one of not that great, as in above Corey Oates.
I'm happy to put him there, as I said, because it's either high end, not that great, or low, do the job. But he's someone who impressed me in 2020 towards the end. So I feel like if he can get back to that form in 2021.
I just don't know if he can do it at the Dragons. So the Dragons are a difficult team to read because they're not that great, and they're honestly one of the favourites for the Spoon this year. They're one of them. Who's up next? So we got Nick Meaney. Nick Meaney of the Doggies.
I feel like his best
not
position.
For me, man.
Well, not for me on the wing because I feel like he's a fullback. And I'm not saying he would set the world alight there. And I still would put him in
probably not that great in fullback.
Because he's not played fullback that much, but that's his position. I feel like,
it's the Bulldogs' attack, though, bro. When they're centers and they're wingers and they're backs, so their attack, and the Dogs don't have any attack, so you have to lay some blame on.
I sort of think do the job, low do the job, because he is he's someone who does have talent, and as I said, I feel like he's more a fullback. But I don't think we could put him. I don't think he's at that level as Ravalawa and Oates. I feel like he's like a slither better. So he's either the top of not that great or low and do the job.
Well, I'll give you the bottom of do the job. I'll give you bottom of do the job. You gave me Sivo as top quality, so I'll give you bottom of do the job. But he definitely could be 50-50 in between. Hopefully he can prove us wrong this year. Next up, Philip Sami. This is probably one of the hardest ones for me between quality and do the job. But I would probably put him in high end, do the job. As in the number one and do the job.
Number one? Yeah. Yep. Number one.
I think the Queensland game one showed that he's not there yet. No. He's not ready just yet. I think that he's still very young. I think that he has the potential. I don't think he could ever be elite. Sorry, Philip, but I don't think he could ever be elite. I think that he could definitely be around where Blake Ferguson is one day, maybe. But I don't see him being ever as that really upper echelon Brett Morris, Josh Addo-Carr, Daniel Tupou kind of player. I think he's a fantastic guy. I would love to see him do well this year. This is a good year for Titans backs to show themselves out because this is going to be a big year for the Titans. But then again, we did speak in the hookers one with Clarkey about how there is still question marks around their attack because of the hooker position.
If Cameron Smith signs, it'll be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, if Cameron Smith signs, it'll be fine. But obviously that hasn't happened yet. But Cameron, if you watch him, mate, if I don't have the money for you, man, but if we can get you the money, I'll do it. But yeah, I think number one for do the job. So next up, who's this? We got Reimis Smith. Reimis Smith. I'll give you this one.
I mean, at the Storm, he seems like a guy that will do well in that system. He's, spoken about he wants to have a good year. He wants to challenge for a rep position, which I feel like we will definitely see a better Reimis Smith in 2021. This time next year, he could be like a high-end do the job or a quality. But at the moment, I would have to do, low-end do the job or not that
I'd have
great.
him number one, not that great.
Let's do it.
For now, anyway. Obviously, if you're getting picked up by the Storm, then they believe in you. But for now, number one, not that great. And it gives it a bit more overall kind of aesthetic with the way it is.
Yeah.
Next up here from Manly. You got the Manly. And by the way, guys, the reason why I keep looking down here is because I've got all the names written down because I can't really see because my screen, it has them really small. So Reuben Garrick. I got Reuben Garrick from Manly. Where are you thinking?
A breakout 2019, a great 2019. 2020 was a bit not as good. I mean, they played him at fullback a bit as well. Probably didn't help. I think at the moment he is probably do the job just because he had a good 2019, but 2020 wasn't that good. He's only played 2 seasons. Whether he's going to be a higher end winger, more of his days of 2019, or a bit more inconsistent 2020 is still yet to be seen. But at the moment, I'd say do the job.
I've got him below Sami, above Watene-Zelezniak.
Sure. You know what? Yeah.
Bingo. There we go. We've got the Sharkies boys here. Sharkies boys. And first up, we've got Ronaldo Mulitalo. For me, man, I think that I actually do like him as a player. I do. And I think that he suits the Sharks. I don't think he starts for many other teams, to be completely honest with you. But I think that he really suits this Sharks team. I would honestly take him above Watene-Zelezniak, but I think you're probably going to rank him a little bit lower. I'll put him in between Watene-Zelezniak and Edrick Lee.
I was going to have him bottom of quality.
Bottom of quality? Well, there you go. There you go. I do actually like him. I'll agree with you. I'll move him down to bottom of quality. I was underestimating what you would think there.
It's just we are yet to see him hit that high quality level. Like, he is not as good as any of the other players in quality, or we've not seen him be as consistently as good as any of the other players in quality or elite as of yet. He's always been up there, decent, good, above average. I'd say he's probably better than any of the guys and do the job at the moment. And I just think bottom end of quality, I think he is a talent. But he does risk do the job a bit.
I would take him over Sami, though. That's a big call, but I'd take him over Sami. I think he's above everyone we got in that do the job. So I think we'll leave him there. And if anything, we could put him top end and do the job, but I think he's fine there, to be honest with you. All right, next up, Sione Katoa. I think that he goes in quality, but I'm not sure where in quality.
Oh, he had a really, he wasn't spoken about enough in 2020, man. He had a really 100%. Good 2020. He was leading the race for top try scorer for a whole chunk there in the middle of the season. It's just towards the end. Well, AJ, I think him and Nofoaluma were the 2 casualties of that 5 try scoring game for AJ. I was going to put him. Is he above? See, here's me. He's either. Is he above Feldt? Is that too high? Or is he below Feldt?
For me, man, Sione Katoa, I personally, I know you're not going to like this, I've got him above Ferguson, below Johnston.
I'm happy for that, to be honest. I thought you were going to underrate. For some reason, I thought, okay.
Yeah, you did what I did with Mulitalo.
Because I thought, okay, if you've got Mulitalo a bit lower, will you also have Katoa? But you know what? I'm happy to have.
I think Katoa's strong, man. I think Katoa's strong. I think he's fast, and I think he's class. I think that, I would personally, I think that overall this is the best place to put him. I'm not changing it. But I personally, if I was doing a draft, I'd take him over Johnston myself. But I think that overall what we've seen so far, I'd put him in between Johnston and Ferguson. I think that's pretty straight up.
I think by the end of his career, he'll be elite.
Yep, I believe so too. I agree so too. I believe he'll be elite in very near future. Probably maybe by the end of the year, or maybe next. Well, the thing is, Sharks aren't looking the goods though. Sharks don't look the goods going too far. I don't necessarily believe they make the 8 this year. So that'll be difficult because obviously to make the 8, you need to score tries, and he's to score the tries. So if they're not scoring enough tries, then that's going to be because he's not getting them. You know what I mean? So it's
they got to get him good ball. I think his stock at the Sharks, as they go down, he'll continue to go up. And I think probably eventually someone will pick him up because he's just class. And most of their tries will start coming through Sione Katoa.
Exactly right. All righty, guys, 2 left here. And we've got Tommy Talau. I think he goes in the unproven, man.
100%.
There's no way we could put him anywhere else. I think he's straight in the unproven. And then finally, we've got Xavier Coates. I think we may disagree here. For me, man, I think he is basically Philip Sami.
I don't think we're going to disagree here, and I'm glad because throughout 2020, a lot of people were hyping up Xavier Coates, but why? Because when Brisbane were getting, because he's fast, and when Brisbane were getting flogged every game, he'd get one long range intercept and then not really do anything else. You could argue in a better side, he'd be amazing. Look at what he did for Queensland. I think he was.
From what we've seen, I could actually put Reuben Garrick above him. From what we've seen, I could put Garrick above him. But
I'm happy for that. I'm happy for that if you want to. I think he's. This is good because I don't think he's quality yet, but he's someone who I think has the potential to obviously be quality, but I can't put him in there as of yet. This is one I feel like the comments will be going off about because a lot of people rate him highly. He had a good origin.
Broncos fans will hate us. Broncos fans tell us we're pieces of shit. They'll say we're biased Titans fans, but like really, it's not. It's not the fact. It's that I genuinely believe that he's very comparable with Phillip Sami, but I haven't seen anything besides his pace and a couple of intercepts to say that he's been absolutely unbelievable just yet. But I'm not saying he can't be absolutely unbelievable. I just think that maybe not yet. I think this is pretty good, man. I think that the elites are, straight up. It's crazy that both Roosters are obviously an elite. That's really good for them, obviously. But we all knew that was coming. I think this shows, from me looking at so far all these positional players that we've done, I think this really does show the current state of the competition where there was a lot of kind of, average-ish hookers that you guys would have already seen that came out on Tuesday this week. I think there was a lot of average-ish hookers, and then we've got a lot of really quality wingers. So we're seeing a lot of emphasis towards that, those outside backs right now to just pump in those tries. And I feel like we're seeing a lot of bigger size outside backs if you look up the top area. I know Brett Morris and Josh Addo-Carr are smaller, but you look at those quality, majority of those are bigger size, like your Katoas, your Johnstons, your Maika Sivo, Blake Ferguson, I would even nearly classify as. I think that majority of them are big size. So it really is telling you what kind of league we're looking at right now.
Oh, 100%. And it's also, it's not only the bigger in size, but the height as well. More than ever just about being able to jump for that high ball, because all the time now we see halves kicking for the corner when they're like within 20 metres of the line. So to be able to jump for that high ball, to be able to defend your line as a winger is crucial. And I think that's why we're seeing guys like Blake Ferguson and obviously Dan Tupou so high up on this list. And then your powerhouses, as you've heard, the likes of Sivo, Katoa. I feel like, I'm happy with this list.
Like we were saying, obviously go down there in the comment section and let us know what you're thinking. Obviously, I created this tier maker here on tier maker. I created this tier list. So if you want to go and do it yourself, you can easily jump on there. Yeah, appreciate you for jumping on here, Rugby League in My Opinion. Where can everyone find you?
Sure. So just Rugby League in My Opinion on Facebook, RL in My Opinion on Instagram, and I've also got a weekly podcast that comes out of a Tuesday, and we do interviews every now and then when I can get them. We like to do it once a week, but whenever they happen, but always you can expect an episode every Tuesday. So tomorrow. So
there you go. What's the podcast tomorrow? Is there somebody jumping on?
Not someone jumping on. It's just me and my regular co-host Cooper. We're going to be talking about NRL expansion. Obviously, it's a bit of a talking topic at the moment. Yeah. So
what's funny? I do every sport, right? And everyone's talking about expansion in every league, except for maybe AFL. But literally every sport right now is talking about expansion. I'm like, it's such a weird time because obviously the pandemic right now. Like, you know what I mean? It's such a weird time. But no, that's a great topic, man. And it should be a good one.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on again. As I said, it was really fun doing this tier list. I've watched plenty of them, but to actually do one, it was great. And yeah.
That's really good. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's going to do it for today. So obviously go down there, hit that subscribe button, smack the thumbs up button. Like I said, I'm doing, different positional players with all different content creators. And, we've already done hookers and, we've got second row forwards and everyone coming up soon. We're also doing A-League and AFL and, the Rugby League and AFL season is really starting to kick underway here. So definitely get excited because we are smashing out that content right now as we get ready for a brand new season, man. I'm so damn well excited. Don't forget BKR Clips. Also, we stream literally every day across all different sports. That'll do us for today, and I will see you guys next time. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.